was a settee there, same as this one, a year ago perhaps now, and 3 times, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the doctor says I've got to lie down a lot. So I'm lying down on there, and the incubus came through the curtain, the big black shape, and it's appearing, other ghost hunters are seeing it, jumped on top of me, and the whole settee was jumping up and down like this. A sex machine.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 o'clock every day. And the same young man lives up the road, sat where you are, was watching it happen.
Yeah, wow.
God has given me proof that I've got a witness now, because normally it happens in the night.
So this happens often then?
Eh?
This is happening often?
Yes.
Gosh.
Oh yeah. The word nightmare is really that. Somebody that comes to you in the night. And it's not a dream.
No.
You're wide awake. Yeah, that was about a year ago. And the recording equipment all set up. These London film crew, professional people. This wasn't just ghost hunters, it was real top people, wasn't it?
Making a film.
And you was here. Was there anybody else here?
Just me, yeah, and the filmmaker.
Right. And every time I said the word incubus, everything cut right out. It refused to be talked about, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did.
There, he witnessed it.
Right, we're discussing actually what we've experienced at the Ramin. This is like a diary of events. What have we found from coming here? Tell me some of your favourite experiences over the last few months.
Well, that was just about put the cat amongst the pigeons, didn't it? That there, it was quite frightening in the barn there.
What, today?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the other experiences of orbs we've witnessed in the Bishop's room when we checked the footage back?
Not too convincing with the orbs, although there was some that come out on the photographs that didn't appear to be there when the photo was taken.
Do you think the ancient Ramin in Wootton-under-Edge is haunted or not?
Well, it's a bit of a yes and no. Now, since that happened in there with the touching the elbow and you falling over and that cartwheel, dropping down by the side of you, I wouldn't think that would be done on its own, and definitely somebody touched me. And like John Humphreys, the proprietor, said, that it's happening quite often, especially in the barn. People are being pushed around.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You got more or less pushed around twice.
I felt like I lost my... I don't know, it's weird. This is a weird place.
What, in your opinion then, Adam, is a ghost to you? How do you look at the...
A ghost is either a recording of something that horrific happens. If someone dies in an accident or maybe they're murdered suddenly, a ghost is described as like a recording of those events, and it plays over and over and over. It's supposed to be picked up in the building's residual energy. I don't know if that's true.
This is the barn actually where one of the members from Most Haunted was attacked by some sort of ghost. Quite frightening at the time, but I don't think we'll go there for now. We'll have a look round somewhere else. This is the actual chair. I suppose it was about a year ago now that rocked back and forward on its own. Go back and we've actually got it on camera.
So, Phil, what do you think of the Ramin so far? I mean, we've been here on a couple of occasions now. Are you convinced it's haunted or what?
I don't really know yet. I can imagine it could very well be. It's quite spooky surroundings, isn't it?
Always an interesting thing is to leave a locked off camera in a room for a certain amount of time. So I started it recording. I'm going to leave it recording and come back and see what we get. Okay, I'm on the landing where the blue lady is said to appear. It's very cold. Seems that John's doing a bit of gardening outside.
It was early one evening. We had a Rottweiler that used to sort of have the run of the house.
Is that Hagar?
Hagar, that horrible. And we were sat on the sofa in the front room waiting, just sort of chatting. We were going to go over to Dursley. It was quite early in the evening. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
We heard a lot of crashing and banging. We just sat there and looked at one another. What's that noise? And then it went quiet. And then it started again. So we decided we needed to investigate. And my first thought was that the dog had been got himself trapped behind some furniture. It sounded like a cupboard banging or a wardrobe banging. And so we walked through here, and we had a big velvet curtain, because there's obviously not a doorway that you can put a door in. And the curtain, it was a bit too long for the doorway, it was blown out this way.
Okay.
So that was the first port of call. We went into the bedroom to see what was going on, really to find the dog. And we came in here, couldn't see the dog, and I was just about to leave this room when I realised the bedside cabinet was missing.
Missing?
Just missing. And there was our double bed, and the cabinet is where that stool was. There was one either side of the bed, and this chest was moved up a bit further along, and that was still there. And the bedside, that we had the quilt on the bed, and it was turned back like that. And there was a book that I was reading. It was Firestarter by Stephen King.
I know the one, yes.
And oh shit, where's the cupboard then? So, you know, the thought of looking for the dog was second choice then. We suddenly decided we better try and find the cupboard. So we came out and looked down the stairs, obviously to go downstairs, and the cupboard was stuck in the doorway down the bottom. We had to actually move the cupboard to get out of the attic. It was stuck sideways here across our path.
Right, okay.
And so we moved it.
So it's travelled right the way.
It must have come over the bed because that chest was in the way. And it was stuck sideways in the doorway there. And it was a normal bedside cabinet with a top drawer and a gap for books and an open door at the bottom.
Okay.
And everything stayed in the cupboard until it got down here, apart from that one book that had landed on my bed. And in the cupboard I had a carved wooden box, and it had my tarot cards were wrapped in a silk cloth in the box.
Right.
And they stayed in the cupboard, as well as the cartomancy books, until it got down here. To be quite honest, I can't remember where the books were, but I just remember being absolutely gobsmacked at the fact that the tarot cards were all over the floor here.
Right.
And I wish I'd taken a picture, but I didn't.
No.
A couple of them were quite badly scored, like they'd been marked with a sharp object. A couple of them have almost got holes through them. One of them was a 3 of Pentacles, which, when you look up the meaning, it can represent stonemasons.
Right, okay.
And this place was built to house the stonemasons.
They worked on the church up the road, yeah.
We carried on downstairs. Then I was worried about the dog. I thought, shit, you know, the furniture's gone moving around. Where is the dog? And we found Hagar up against the door to Dad. But 2 weeks before that, the kitchen had burnt down.
Burnt down.
Yeah. We'd
Was that something like someone had left something, or?
Well, we never got to the bottom of it, but when we first moved in, Dad had this industrial deep fat fryer that he used to use when he did bed and breakfast when my parents were together.
Okay.
And he said, he called us down from the attic one day. He said, "You won't believe this." He said, "Come and see what's happening." And he stood there looking at the deep fat fryer, and it's bubbling over. It's not plugged in, and he hadn't used it. So Stu picked it up off of the work surface it was on and put it on the draining board, thinking that this fat is going to go everywhere in any minute, and this could get dangerous. We didn't quite know what to do with it. And when he moved it, the bubbling subsided and it just stopped boiling over. And we thought, oh dear. And Dad was out walking Hagar one day. We were at work, and when Dad came back, the kitchen was on fire.
Great.
And it just seemed a bit of a coincidence that it was Firestarter by Stephen King that landed on my flipping bed 2 weeks later. But I don't really know what the significance was. I thoroughly believe that things happen here when there's a lot of emotional tension. And at the time, It was great when we all first moved in together, but I don't know whether you've ever moved back with your folks before or after having your own place. It's always a bit of, you know, oh,
Yeah.
you're using too much electric, you shouldn't have the hot water on. And there was a little bit of that between us, and things
Right.
weren't going fantastically well. And I think things like that can disturb the
What was
influences
that?
here. And there was definitely a bump. Last time I
Did you
told
hear
this
that?
story, I got tapped on the shoulder up in the attic. That's why I'm down
That
here
was
now.
from up there, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That bum.
That's quite common, all those bumps and bangs upstairs.
Okay.
Um,
I hope that came out on camera because that was quite weird.
yeah. So, I mean, when we stayed here and we were in that room, there was a power cut, and you know what, it's a pain in the bum to have to reset your alarm clocks and
Yeah.
everything else. And we'd sit there and say, wouldn't it be a pain in the ass if we had to do that all over again? And with that, all the electric would go off again, you know, things like that. There was, you could hear furniture being dragged around upstairs. And we've had evenings here and there's been nothing in the attic to be dragged around. And Stu, my husband, came here as a total non-believer and he was panicking. He thought he might have to screw the stereo and the CD player down because he didn't know what else was going to go flying around next.
Oh my god.
You know?
It is absolutely freezing in here.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
but you learn to live with it, sort of thing, and it's the sort of thing that... It's little things that happen on a regular basis. It's
Have
nothing
you ever
significant.
actually seen like the Cavalier or all these things that are on
No,
the internet?
unfortunately, I really don't want to because I don't think I'd come here again if I actually saw an embodiment of a spirit somewhere. I've only ever experienced the noises, the power cuts, and the furniture moving around. And I think if I'd have seen that, I probably wouldn't come back here either. It was the fact that it happened and I heard.
Yeah.
The weird thing about that situation as well, I forgot to tell you, was the noise the cupboard was making, and there wasn't a mark on it. And it stuck sideways in that doorway, and there wasn't a splinter or a scratch
What
on
about
it.
the door? Was the door damaged?
The door wasn't closed, it was open. The only thing that was damaged was my tarot cards.
That's strange, isn't it?
Very. Yeah.
And that happened like 10, 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
we've been over Dursley since 1990, and it was the year it was in 1989, 1990 that happened.
Great.
Moved in, this was just 3 separate rooms. That's the way it was years ago, you just had to walk from one room to the other.
Okay. So that's great.
Yeah, it looks good, it's quite authentic, but it's not. But that is.
Yeah, what is this blue lady? I haven't seen much stuff on it. Apparently there's someone from Bristol who can bring her out every time she arrives.
Yeah, I've met her, and she does, and she's very good at it. And I've been here and I've seen the blue lights when she's been
What are the blue
photographing.
lights like? Is it like orb form?
It's like laser beams.
Laser.
It's a bright blue light. It's really a sharp blue light. But it comes in different forms as well. I mean, I've seen pictures she's taken and everything is like in a blue light, and then she's been here and I've caught flashes of blue as I'm looking.
Yeah. Okay, so we're about to go into the bishop's room. Any comments?
No, we'll seek it out and see what we think after. We'll just have a little mosey round, see what we think.
Okay. Okay, the bishop's room. It's cold in here, isn't it? All right. We're in the bishop's room. We keep saying we're going to leave, but we're doing more investigations. This is just getting ridiculous now. So we've heard some stories from John Humphrey's daughter this time, Carol Ann. She's told us about some of the stories, and whilst she was telling us one particular story, we heard a bang come from the weaver's attic, which is just above us right now, which was strange. Could have been anything, could have been the wind rattling some wood or tiles on the building, but it was very eerie at the time.
Well, that noise didn't sound like a tile rattling, it's just like a thump.
It was louder, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then that one 10 minutes ago.
The rattling noise.
Mm.
Yeah. It is very windy out there, and that's what we must remember. We're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. We'll just sit in silence and see what we get, okay?
Yeah.
Is there anybody here? So much for silence.
Living cold.
No orbs.
No.
Okay, there's a dog barking now. I hope that's outside. There's a hole here in the wall, which is wind blowing into it like crazy. Just where some piping's going in, and I think that's what's making this room so cold. That big hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can only see it by looking into the camera. See it down there?
Yeah. You got gaps there in the wall as well. You can see outside there.
Wait a minute, is that another one? Can you hear something there or not? Or is that me?
Mm-hmm.
There's the fireplace.
Blocked in.
No, I can see up the fireplace, but nothing up there. Like a skeleton. It's been interesting, but I think we're going to have to go now.
Interesting.
All I say is truth. I can swear on the Bible is true. I don't believe in telling lies. That's sin. You shouldn't do that.
No, we've noticed since we've been coming here, you don't go over the top of what you've seen and what you believe. Whereas you said when Derek Akora come here with the Haunted team, he was over the top.
Oh,
he?
yes.
You said that to us, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's TV, isn't it? That's TV.
Nobody believed that. It made the ram look foolish.
Okay, so we're going to go in now and have a look round. Not necessarily for the last time, but just to do another little preview and maybe check, see if we can find anything different than when we last come here. So the thing is, Adam, when we come back in the barn about 10 minutes ago, I couldn't go any further because that cartwheel was there when the three of us left.
Yeah.
There's a plank in the middle. You'd need a good 5 pound in weight of your pressure to chuck it on the floor.
But how can we always get this cartwheel business every time we come here?
What they do, they seem to have a thing about cartwheels with us.
Take a picture of it then, see what we get. That's good, because that would come out on...
What was that? You were joking.
Was that you with the camera?
No. Somebody threw something over there. Have you got it on camera?
I recorded it, yeah.
You heard it.
I heard
No.
I heard the flash of the... when you took the picture? Yeah, I heard it, but I wasn't sure where it come from.
It was over there.
Where I'm pointing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Should we turn out lights for a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, this is just falling over this split second, but I wasn't recording.
Oh, if only you had been.
No, but I wasn't. How well did you prop that up against the thing? Come and tell...
Enough. We're now outside the barn where all the activity has been. Obviously, this is the outside, like I say. Now, a few minutes ago when I was in there with our cameraman Adam, this cartwheel still keeps falling over. And we didn't catch it on camera, which is really unfortunate because Adam wanted to run out, and so did I, because this is about the 5th time now that this cartwheel has fallen over. And like I say, we're outside, so it's approximately there now. And also some sort of form of orb or some energy strength actually threw something over the top of the gear that John has got in the Mayflower barn. And it is quite frightening, to be honest. Sometimes I wonder why we do it, but you know,
Do you reckon we could get John and Kevin to come into the barn just for like a couple of minutes?
you
just
ask
before
him,
we
'cause
hit
he
the
wants
road.
to go soon.
Okay.
Twice lately, up that end where the fireplace is, orbs have been actually photographed in the floor. Now I've been here 40 years and I've never seen such a thing. Orbs appear mainly up in the roof and all around my head. They're following me everywhere I go. Dogs are attacking me all the time because of it. They can see them, and people say to me up the street, "John, what's them lights over your head?" So there you are, there's proof of it. Now, I've never seen them in the floor there. I find that incredible because I've been told this barn is full of bodies, mainly children. Did you notice children's toys everywhere?
Yeah.
Well, the reason for that is it's so frightening ghost hunters seeing and hearing children. They're bringing toys, putting down to calm things down. And this barn is supposed to be full of children.
Is that the actual building in Redfield near St George is now down to the ground. The other two pubs are still there. That was in my family for 70 years.
Oh, yeah.
And he's seen a ghost when he was
Right.
a dapper, 14 or 15. And it's sprung from him to me, but
Yeah.
more with Adam. Adam
Well,
believes...
I know my mother was into the spirit world. Now, look at this. I brought the ceilings down here. Have you ever seen tenterhooks? Can you see them there? Look,
Oh, yeah.
always on this side of the beam. Look along here and you'll see them everywhere. So that's proof weaving took place in this cold, drafty attic alleyway. Now, you imagine the weight there. Look, it doesn't even go into the wall
No.
because the stone walls came
Spread-
later.
The stone walls.
But you would have thought they'd have moved them over a bit to support it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a wonder it hadn't collapsed.
Kevin's saying that you've had some work done here with the chimney up above in the last
Yeah.
20 years, yeah?
Mm.
Well, he's right. Builder knows his stuff.
Yeah, that been extensively done, haven't you? You've completely rebuilt the barn on the end, haven't you?
Oh, that's a new chimney.
Yeah,
Mm.
and but walls as well. It looks like it's all been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if anything, there's any spiritual presence in there. I should imagine it was for something that happened before the barn was there. Perhaps, who knows?
Possibly. In fact, so a lot did happen because of all the children was buried in there.
Mm.
It was a pagan burial ground for sacrifices that took place on the site, big circle, which is another Stonehenge, and the ley line joins the two.